In our last video, we defined and documented the motivations and expectations of our project stakeholders to ensure that our podcast meets real business goals. In this segment, we're going to want to shift focus to our consumers, who in this case are the people that we hope will listen to our podcast. Throughout this series, we'll be referencing course materials that you can download for free at uviaus.com/podcasting. The job statements that we documented for our stakeholder should give us a clue as to who would want to listen to this podcast. In the example statement from our last video, we said that our stakeholder wants to foster community within a certain industry, and presumably we already know a little bit about this industry. So let's try to empathize. What might motivate someone to listen to this podcast? Do you suppose they're looking for professional tips on career advancement? Or are they looking to be entertained? Are they interested in personal growth? Let's capture as many of these as possible while trying to be honest, not just purely aspirational. Once we've isolated a handful of these realistic motivations, we might ask, where is this need currently being addressed? Are there other podcasts, publications, maybe social groups or events that appeal to our target audience? Finally, as we consider these options, where do we see room for improvement? Do we think the audience has an appetite for more of this content with a higher quality or a lower cost or at a faster pace? Keep in mind, of course, that if these are the options that we're considering, namely quality, cost, and pace, generally speaking, we can target one or two of these, but never all three. Now let's consider what the consumer's current relationship is like with the stakeholder's brands. Of course, this will require a little bit of speculation that we'll hope to validate later, but it would be really helpful to have the org's CCO or Chief Customer Officer present so they could offer some insights for us. Now, based on past research, what is the consumer's impression of our org's products and services? If they were asked to describe our brand, would they be primarily focused on the functional benefits of the brand and its deliverables? Would they describe it as reliable, a good value, or necessary? If so, what are some of these products and services that they appreciate? Perhaps, though, the target audience is emotionally invested in the brand. Would they describe our products and services as inspiring or unique, cool? If so, what do you think the brand is doing to elicit this response? Let's write some of that down. Of course, the answer might be that the consumer currently isn't thinking about the brand. And if so, can we challenge the group to figure out what they are thinking about? Let's also use our imaginations for a moment. Imagine that the consumer is already listening to our podcast. How will their relationship with the stakeholder's brand change? Do you think that their respect and appreciation for what the brand has to offer is going to increase? If so, what are some of these offerings that the listeners will become aware of or start to appreciate? Will they start to personally identify with the brand, maybe even considering the brand as an expression of self? If so, what qualities do you think they'll most identify with? Let's reconsider some of the consumer's motivations. How will our stakeholders' brand support, embolden, or elevate our listeners? After we've given that some thought, we should have enough to convert some of our listeners' motivations into job statements. Remember, with jobs to be done, we're trying to define situations, motivations, and expectations. So one job statement might read, when I listen to a podcast, I want to view behind closed doors so that I feel a sense of personal privilege. Challenge the group to come up with as many of these as possible. As you consider these motivations, you're probably already coming up with great ideas for this show. That's exciting. But we have made several assumptions about our target audience, and it would probably be best for us to validate some of those before we act on them. Feel free to use the consumer survey included in our course materials as the basis for a few interviews. Essentially, we want to know if we have an accurate understanding of the consumer's situations, motivations, and expected outcomes. We also want to solicit feedback on what they'd like to see improved and how they see our stakeholders' brand. If we've done our homework, we're already most of the way there. In the next segment, we'll just consider the motivations of contributors that we hope to attract as guests. We'll also run through a few exercises to tie all this data together so that we can produce that winning podcast theme and concept. Of course, if at any point you'd like a little help from an agency you can trust, we're UVS.